So, what's going on, guys? Zach from First Flight Strings. I had a friend that suggested that I should do some stringing tutorials, and I thought that was a good idea. But before that, I just want to talk about the principles of stringing. When I first started as a freshman in high school, I wasn't too good. Didn't really know a lot. I used shoelaces as sidewalls, so that just goes to show how much I knew. Definitely, there's what it really boils down to is 4 main components, and that's your top string, your sidewall, your bottom string, and your shooters and nylons. Top string, always strung first, but that's what I really want to talk about in this video, is how the top string affects the head in general, and in relativity to that, it also affects how you play. So, top strings, there's a bunch. There's the Iroquois, just a regular double interlock. There's drop tops, sling triangle, chop strings, a whole bunch. Ones that I usually go for are double interlocks. They are just the basic generic ones that are just the 4 holes. It allows for just a normal release point, like other top strings like the Iroquois are for quicker releases, but this is just for normal stuff. And then there's, like I said, there's the Iroquois, which is basically the mesh on the head is lowered, and when you put your pocket in it, it doesn't take as long for the ball to get to the top of the stick and to release, so it just makes it faster. It's a lot of the times it's used for box lacrosse and stuff that you need it quicker for. But yeah, so let me show you how to string just a regular old double interlock top string. What you do need, obviously, is top string and your head and your mesh. I'm going to use a bunch of old materials. This is super pinched and warped Clutch X. I loved these when I first started playing. I at one point had like 8 of them, and I wouldn't know which one to use. So for the first part of the top string, what you want to do is you want to attach it to your sidewall. And how I do that is I'll go from the outside of the plastic through the front of the mesh and back through the same hole that I used and pull it tight, and that creates kind of like a little, it's a double almost. As you can see, it's got the one that keeps it tight and then the other one that allows you to string the rest of the top string with it. So that's how I always start them and how I always finish them. And I always do a little, I don't know if you can see it, but there's 2 instead of just 1 single knot, there's 2. I find that it's stronger, and it also helps the knot to stay in place. So to do the double interlock, you start out by going through the back of the head and then back around through the front of the mesh. Now when you come back around, you want to go on the outside of the string that went through the back of the head. So it's going to look like this. And that pulls it this way so that the mesh is even throughout. Because if you don't have even mesh, then the channel is messed up in the pocket as well, and it doesn't allow you to have a nice even throw and release. Then after you do that step, you go back through the same hole of mesh through the front of the head and then back through the hole that is there from the string. So you want to go outside of the string first, and then you want to go on the inside. And then that creates this double interlock, which is super strong, and when you do ground balls and stuff, it wears away at the top string. But when it's this, it's a lot stronger. So then after this one, you're going to want to skip a hole on the mesh and a hole on the top of the head, depending on how many holes they have. And you're going to go to the next one, and you're just going to do the same thing. So you go through the back of the head, the front of the mesh, then on the outside, pull it tight, back through the mesh, through the front of the head, and back through the hole. Now, there's different ways to do this. Some people go on the outside both times. I never really found that worked, so I just like this simple one. Also, other people, they like to do it in the opposite direction. So when the ball reaches the top of the mesh, it hits off those knots that are in the back of the stick that I'm stringing. So it's really like everything else in lacrosse. It's all about preference and your own style, and that's what gets people really excited about this game, is how much you can just customize everything. So I'm just doing the same thing. You're gonna do it 4 times. If you want to do it more, it's fine. On average, you just do it the 4 times on a 9-diamond top string, and you skip a hole in between each time. And in the end, what you want is for that fifth hole in the mesh in the middle, you want that to be directly in the middle of your inner 2 knots. So in the end, what I want is just a nice even top string, and this is going to perform well. So right here, as you can see, since it's pulling the mesh in both directions, you're going to get a little space sometimes, but on the outside it's nice and tight. And depending on where you start your top string and which hole on the sidewall, it will also affect it. But this is mainly what you want. And on the back, nice even diamonds. And as you can see right here, the key part is that hole is lined up right with this hole, so it's going to come straight out. Now, after this, it's sidewalls that make this channel and the pocket, and then that will be our next video. But for now, focus on this top string, and once you master that, it's the start to this masterpiece. But this is the key to it.